This story is about to be so crazy. I'm going to show you my journey from when I first discovered that I was pregnant to when I first was informed that I may have to have a hysterectomy and I might die and my baby might not be okay. This is a wild, wild journey. But along this journey, I picked up a lot of really good information that I think would be helpful for other women who are in the same situation as I was in. And because Accreta is such a rare, pregnancy complication, there's really not a lot of great YouTube videos or information of women sharing their story out there that makes you feel seen and heard and something that you can relate to. And so that's what I want this story to be. A starting point, I guess, for women to find information that are looking for it. Please feel free to reach out to me. Please feel free to join my MothaHood Support Group on Facebook. It's a community where we don't just vent and complain, because there's some groups on Facebook where that happens, but we support one another and offer solutions. The link to the support group is below. The link to my, I don't even have a name for it, my postpartum back to me journey, if you want to join, is also below. And I hope to see you there. Meet me in the comments if you have any questions that you want answered that I didn't get to touch on. So, do all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all those places. And here's my story. I'm driving now to go pick up a test because I'm late for a very important date. And I've been feeling a little weird. And I just want to be sure. I took one today and it said yes. So I'm going to get some more just to see if it really means yes. Paul doesn't know yet because I just want to be sure. So I'm sitting here, I'm waiting, I'm whispering because Paul's right over there. Okay. Oh my gosh. What? What? So this is my first gift to my husband. Come here.
You're recording?
Yes. And I want you to look at this video as you're asleep. Did you see it?
This is again? You're faking.
I'm not.
You're playing the game. Stop playing.
I'm not playing the game.
When did you take this?
Look at me today.
Today? You took it today. Are you lying? Yeah, I give you lying. I swear to your
Why
eyes.
is this always your reaction?
I don't know.
I was shocked. I didn't know what to say.
I only believe you because you have this hoodie
See?
on.
That was stressful. You think he likes his gift? He thinks I'm lying. Alright, so I'm here at my first ultrasound appointment. This will be the first time I see what's going on with the fibroids into the UFE and how it's affecting the baby, or if it's affecting the baby at all. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited, so let's go in and see what's going on. So it's pretty good news. The baby is looking good. We're about 9 weeks and 6 days, almost 10 weeks. And the main thing they said to me is that, you know, I still have a fibroid there. It's not 13 centimeters anymore. It's now like 7 or 8 centimeters. You have chalk on your hands? That's okay. We're going to wash your hands when we get inside. And that it's like a watch and see kind of thing. That they have not said I'm high risk. They are just a little concerned because of the UFE procedure to make sure that, you know, the baby will grow okay and the placenta will form okay. Yes, the baby. But other than that, it was really good news. We do have a couple more ultrasounds scheduled more than normal. Like I think we have 6 scheduled this time. Just so we can really closely monitor and watch and make sure that everything is going well. I think everything's going to be fine because I'm super healthy. I'm going to take care of myself. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this UFE procedure works and that I'm able to deliver naturally. Right, Astro? Right, Doodle Butt? Say right.
Grapes.
That's, you say grapes. I said say right. All right. This is my second pregnancy, and so this is starting round 2 of pregnant and popping. Pregnant and popping again. This pregnancy has been very different so far. So I'm going to talk about the first trimester of this pregnancy. It's more difficult, I want to say. The first one, I feel like there was a lot of constipation. This one, very opposite. Like, think the opposite of constipation has been every morning with this pregnancy. There has been nausea. There has been terrible migraines and headaches. Literally, if not every day, every other day. There have been, you know, I've been getting sweat and cold chills. The tiredness and the drained energy. Like, I was tired last time, but I was still like able to get things done. Because if you recall, I still did the Amazonian Nights event that I did. This time, I could not even post on social media. Like, I just had, and it could be because I'm also chasing a toddler around, that maybe this pregnancy is just a little bit more tiring because I'm doing more. I can't just lay around and rest like I did last time. So I'm also having a lot of breakouts, and as you can see, and my hair is duller. So my parents think that I am having a girl this time. I don't know. That was one of the questions that was asked to me. I asked Instagram what questions you wanted answered in this video, and that was one of them. Do I know what I'm having? I don't know yet. It is the end of April right now. In May, we will find out. Now that I'm in the second trimester, this is why I'm able to film. I have more energy. I'm still getting headaches. The sweat, chill, diarrhea stuff is still happening, just not as often, I guess. And sometimes I get really crampy. I have been having weird cravings this time too. Like I wanted goldfish in my ice cream, sweets. I've really been into sweets, and I'm not a dessert person. I'm not a sweets person. I never really have been, but I want the candy. I want the chocolate. It's just weird. I feel like last time with Asher, with my son, I was craving green beans for a little bit there. I also really want a lot of fruit, and I also have to eat. I have to eat a lot, because when I'm not eating, my stomach starts to hurt and I start to feel very nauseous, and so I've got to keep something in my stomach this time. But other than that, everything is going well. I found out that I was pregnant because Astro kept kissing my belly every morning, saying, "Hi, baby, hi, baby." I was like, "There's no baby in here." And then I took a pregnancy test, and sure enough,
That's right.
said positive. And so that's how I found out that I was in. You love the baby? Where's the baby?
I want a baby.
Where's the baby?
I want a baby.
What?
A baby.
On my belly button. I had the UFE procedure back in October, and my 6-month follow-up appointment with them was supposed to be in April. I canceled that appointment because I already am having so many ultrasounds because of my UFE procedure. My doctor wants to keep a close eye on the baby to make sure that it's getting the blood it needs, the nutrients it needs, it's growing at the rate it needs to grow, that the placenta is in the right spot. So there's just a lot more things that they are unsure of because of the UFE. So they have scheduled a couple extra ultrasounds than normal. So I didn't want to have an additional ultrasound when I already know what's going on in there. And I'm trying to remember, pregnancy brain has also been a very, very serious problem. Like in the last show that I did, I completely forgot the words. Like I never forget the words and the melody. Like it just wasn't in my head at all. Luckily, it was a duet with my friend Lawrence, and he saved me because I could not recall. Mind you, I've been singing the song for years, like 4 or 5 years at this point. There's no reason for me not to know these words, but that's what happened. So pregnancy brain is on and popping for real. I can't remember. I walk into a room and I'm like, why am I here? I forget to eat. I put food in the microwave and then I forget to eat it. It's just ridiculous. Now, if you want some more information on the UFE stuff, that will be in a separate vlog. But if you have questions, there's bugs out here. If you have questions, please write them in the comments and I will answer you if you want to know. Like, you don't want to wait, you want to know right now. But yeah, I didn't even know that if I could conceive this early. They say to wait about a year or two before you conceive after the UFE procedure. So I don't know how this journey is going to go. I'm being very optimistic. I feel great. The baby is doing great so far. So, everything's looking good. And fingers crossed it stays that way. I was actively breastfeeding my son. And then I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get him weaned. He was 2. And that was my goal. I always wanted to breastfeed him until he was 2. But weaning, man, that was rough.
I need you to count it. I need you to count it. I need you to listen. You're not listening. I need you to count. Lay there. Let's lay there. Lay down.
Like the pregnancy hormones made it actually physically hurt. Like it hurt so bad. I was enraged. It was not fun anymore. It was not relaxing anymore. And he didn't really need it. It was just a comfort thing. So I reached a point where I said to my husband, I can't do this anymore. You're going to have to put him down for a nap. You're going to have to put him to sleep. I can't be in the room because if I'm in the room, he wants to nurse. And it was very difficult. It was a very difficult adjustment for all of us. But it worked. All right, so we're about to see what we're having right now. We're getting some crazy news.
Yeah, crazy news.
Come on, man.
I'm frazzled, yo. All right, here we go. 1.
Don't say what it is when you see it. Just have your reaction.
3. 2, 1.
I knew it from day one. I knew it from day one.
Yeah, it's okay, Carlo. It's okay.
It's all right, man.
You having a My doctors are trying to say that I have something called Placenta Accreta, which basically means like I'm high risk and I may have to have a C-section, hysterectomy, possibly. The baby might have to come at 34 weeks, which is early, and I could bleed out and die. I believe in the power of prayer and miracles, so I just ask that y'all say a quick prayer for me and my baby, that everything will work out fine, that the placenta will move where it needs to move to get out the way so we're good, or even if it doesn't move, that we are still good during the birthing process. I am going for another ultrasound, a second opinion with a maternal fetal medicine doctor on the 14th. And we're going to take a look in there and see what they think, if it still looks like Accreta, or maybe it will move by then. So I do feel scared a little bit. I'm definitely concerned and worried, but I'm hopeful that things will go the way that we intend and plan. And I'm still pregnant and popping, because y'all saw me last night. I was killing it. I'm going to stay killing it. And I'm going to kill this too. No matter what this is, I'm going to win. Don't cry for me. It was super, super stressful to try and maintain normalcy in my life, because I was afraid every day. I was afraid I was going to wake up and potentially bleed out and die. But I didn't want my storm to make my son wet. I wanted him to enjoy summer. I wanted him to enjoy his birthday and go to birthday parties. And there were so many things that I wanted to experience with him that I couldn't, because, you know, when you're high risk, you got to take it easy. But I just wanted him to know that I was still there. Again, in the case, like, what if these are my last days with him? Like, I don't want to just be laid up crying somewhere. So I did my best to just put everything behind me and be as present and in the moment as possible with and for him. Nobody ever records me, but I look good today. I get to Sesame Street. I decided to have 2 photo shoots for this pregnancy, because I knew that a hysterectomy was coming, which means there's no more kids. I'm not ever going to be pregnant again. There's not going to be no more babies. This is my last one. And so I just wanted to really do something special that would memorialize this. And I also, you know, it's sad to say, but I didn't know if I was going to make it. And so I just wanted to do something that, if I didn't make it, my kids and my husband would have beautiful pictures of me. So I was so grateful to my friend Seth and to Jewel for taking these breathtaking photos of me during such a scary time and capturing the beauty that is growing a life, even under crazy circumstances. So these photo shoots came out phenomenal. I'm so pleased with how it came out. And that's why I decided to really like get in a pool and suspend myself.
You don't know what's happening.
I know what's happening. Why are you standing like doing a magic trick? It's just...
She wants behind the scenes, so yes.
Don't sit there.
You gonna be in it.
I don't like being.
When's the reunion? Yay!
I don't like being on the camera. I was like, this is not for me.
Let's get these test shots, see what we got. Is my face melting into the back?
It's not melting.
I am the one.
Watch her go from just standing around to and acting silly to
Thank you, narrator.
supermodel.
You know,
And we're on.
there's definitely something.
So we have
What? Her background commentary?
I'm this. Yeah. But I was talking about the background.
he said the actual.
That's what you initially said.
Yeah.
You know one flag. Then you asked me if I wanted and I got flustered.
I be discussing
He
ideas
did say
all the
that.
time, so I'm like, yeah. Yeah, 'cause I said this shit.
Ben's timing is so sketchy there. It's like a video shoot.
I know.
You could have this scary looking engine.
What?
This lady.
I was really so surprised at how great I felt being in the water doing this shoot, because I guess being in the water, everything is a little lighter and I didn't feel all that pregnancy weight in my back. So it was actually an enjoyable experience. It was a really beautiful pool on a really hot day, which was perfect for this shoot. And the pictures just came out so dreamy. I loved it. I was starting to feel like I was at the doctor literally every other day, and every time I went, it was just worse and worse news. It went from you have Preevia to you have Accreta to you're getting the vertical incision and you're definitely getting a hysterectomy and you have to get an MRI. It was just getting more and more serious with every visit. I was talking to my team and I was like, are we certain? Because it's really hard to diagnose this, really. And luckily, my head doctor, he really had to fight for me to get an MRI. He wanted me to get an MRI to make certain that that's what it was so we could plan accordingly. And insurance was like saying, oh no, she's not pregnant, she just has fibroids. And my doctor had to call them and be like, no, she is pregnant, here's her ultrasounds, like this is why. Like he had to really fight and advocate for me. And it was really frustrating for me because I was quickly approaching the danger zone of having the surgery. I believe this was at like 32 weeks. I was 32 weeks pregnant, and they wanted me to possibly deliver around 34 weeks. I was pushing for 36, but that all depended on if I bled. It depended on how serious the accreta was and how the baby was doing. Thank God for my doctor, who not only made sure that I got the MRI, which did tell us that we needed to pretty much have a hysterectomy, C-section. So I knew I was going to get the vertical incision this time. But he also put together a super team, because with Accreta, you're going to have a really large team of people in there. People to take care of the baby, people for anesthesia, people to take care of your bladder in case they have to cut into that. It's like 40 people are in this room, right? So you have to coordinate a lot of moving pieces, and he got the best of the best. My doctor told me if I have a bleed, immediately go to the hospital in case you bleed out and hemorrhage or whatever. At 32 weeks, I did have a bleed. He then said, you know, they have to monitor me for 48 hours. And while I was there, they gave me, because I needed to get a steroid shot and iron infusion because my iron levels were really low. And for that kind of surgery, you want to have as much iron as possible to replace your blood to give you the best chance at living. So I had a 4-hour iron infusion drop that time, and then the following week I had another iron infusion that I had to go to the hospital for. And also while I was in the hospital for 48 hours, they gave me my steroid shot for my daughter to be caught up since she was going to be birthed early. The doctors at the hospital wanted me to stay there and deliver at 34 weeks. But I had made a plan with my doctor to go home because I left in a rush over in the middle of the night, didn't say bye to anyone. And with a surgery like that, like I wanted to have my things with me, be prepared and get things in order just in case it was my last time seeing everybody. I did go home and I got myself together. And then I had a second bleed a few days before I hit the 35-week mark. Okay, so around 5 a.m. this morning, I had another little blood spill. And I told the hospital, if I see any blood, I'm coming right back in. That's how I got them to let me go. But I was like, if it stops, I don't want to be sitting in the hospital with IVs in my arm, uncomfortable, people checking on me every hour if I don't have to be. So I monitored myself the same way. I don't recommend, this is not a recommendation, but I monitored myself the same way that they did when I went into the hospital the first time, except now around 11, when I stood up, I had some more blood falling out. Now, it was not as big of a gush that made me go into the hospital the first time, but it was more than it was last night, which means it wasn't stopping, which is not what I wanted. So I'm preparing myself to go in and be in the hospital for 4 extra days or so, because I'm supposed to be delivering her on the 8th. So I would have been in there on Thursday anyway. So if I go in, there's no point to do a 48-hour monitor and then send me home because it's time to have her anyway. So I'm sure if I go in, I'm gonna be staying there. My hope is that the blood stops and I can at least go in tomorrow. But we shall see. I mean, at least I'll feel more ready. Like, my bag is packed. My bag was not packed last time. That was just a grab your stuff and go moment. But you know, Accreta's scary. It's scary because there's no way to know that at any time your body could just start bleeding out and hemorrhaging. It just comes up on you. Now, I will say that I noticed before, right before my big bleed, I was like, it was really uncomfortable to lay and it was hard to turn over. But then after I had that bleeding and it came out, I felt so much more comfortable. Like, there was like a relief in my body. And I started to feel uncomfortable like that again. And I was like, oh no, I feel like this means like blood is building up inside. And the last couple of days, I felt like I could smell it. Like, it was kind of like a fishy smell, and everything that I was getting was like, oh, you might have an infection or something. But I smelled that before when I had the bleed. So I almost felt like I knew it was coming. Like, I'm not surprised. I would have been surprised if I wasn't bleeding soon. But let's see if I can make it till tomorrow. I'm gonna continue to monitor my bleeding like every 30 minutes. See where I'm at, what color it is, how much it is, which is basically what they do at the hospital. They put you on a chuck pad and come in and check, and they weigh it, how much blood is on there to see if there's more or less. And I just feel more comfortable doing it at home because at least I can eat. The hospital, they weren't really feeding me just in case I had to have an emergency surgery. And my scheduled surgery's on Thursday. I really think I can make it then. Till then, it's just about doing it. So we'll see. Accreta sucks. And it's scary. I think one of the more difficult things that people probably don't talk about a lot is feeling the fear of everyone around you. And you also have fear yourself, but you're trying to be strong, and it's just hard to be strong when everybody is so scared and everything is so uncertain. And I'm a type of person who likes a plan, and there really is no plan until the doctors get in there, because it's hard to diagnose and it's hard to figure out what's needed until they actually open you up. So they can't even tell you exactly what's going to go on. It's like, we could do this, or we could do this, or we could do this, or we could do this, and we'll know once we get in there. And for someone who likes to plan, that was a lot. To keep myself occupied and to keep my brain, you know, from freaking out while I'm just sitting in the hospital on bed rest, I brought my laptop, I did a lot of work. I did dance challenges in my bed, and Chloe Bailey actually reposted me and it went viral. So that was pretty fun. You know, people wanted to FaceTime and talk to me, but I didn't really want to talk to anyone. I just kind of wanted to, I guess, just prepare mentally for what I was about to do.
I am unbelievably nervous. I woke up and was bleeding, and I lied to the nurses and said it was not as bad as it. I'm not posting this right now. Said it wasn't as bad as it was. I passed the clot and everything. But it's surgery day, so I don't think it matters that much.
So I talked to the anesthesiologist about staying awake the whole time, because I didn't want my daughter to have anesthesia because it's harder for the baby to breathe on their own when they're born if they get the drugs in their system. That was the plan. But then the day of surgery, they told me after looking more closely at my scans, they felt it was best to put me under. So I said, well, I really don't want my baby to have the drugs. So they decided I could stay awake till up to the very last second where they were about to cut me open, and then they would put me under, because it takes about 10 minutes for them to get the baby out. And instead of her being under for like 45 minutes, she would only have 10 minutes. And I think that worked because she was able to breathe on her own when she was born. She was in NICU overnight just to be monitored. And then I was able to have her and breastfeed her and all those things. While I was recovering, my mom was actually pumping me and getting colostrum out for the nurses to bring down to her. She did receive some donor breast milk because I just wasn't able to get there. I had the catheter in, I was still trying to get out of it. That night I did have the catheter out. Now they're calling me. That's because I had to delete all this stuff on my phone. They got the catheter out. I was able to use the bathroom and walk around and able to go down and hold her, breastfeed her. And although some of the nurses were saying like, oh, don't stress out if you can't feed her because you had a major surgery, it went fine. Stay hydrated, relax, and just keep trying to nurse your child. For me, it went perfectly. She was born at 5.5 pounds. She now at 3 months old is 15 pounds. So she's been nursing great.
I want to update you all that I am doing okay. Surgery went as well as it could go. I did lose about 3 liters of blood, and they had to do 2 units of a blood transfusion, but I'm fine. I'm on my way to see baby girl. She is in NICU. She should be out tomorrow. But I'm going to do skin to skin for the first time, and I'm really excited.
I could not have done this without the support of my mom, who was with me at every single doctor's visit and keeping me sane in the hospital, because it was difficult to be away from my son for over a week. That's the longest I've ever been away from him.
My baby.
Here you go.
All right, with the sappy face.
Mm-hmm.
This is my baby.
The sappy face and sappy voice.
Hi,
baby. You take care of him because you can't hold him. And I'll get Luna out.
What do you say? I see.
Who's son's party?
You did what? I missed you.
I need the rainbow clouds.
You need the rainbow clouds? Are they inside? Did you just wake up? Your baby.
Look at little Luna.
There she is. It's baby Luna.
It's baby Luna.
It's baby Luna.
That's your little sister.
I got her.
Baby Luna. Look at baby Luna.
You see the
See the
baby?
baby?
Gentle dude.
Oh. Good job. I know you love her. Good job being gentle. Good job.
Look, it's baby Luna.
Mama's gonna take her out, okay? I know. That's baby Luna. There she is.
Gentle Astro.
I'm gonna get her out. I'm gonna get her out.
Remember your gentle hands, okay? You gotta be gentle and move slow and soft.
Look how cute the baby is.
Okay.
Oh,
Look at
her
little
little
Luna.
hat. She got a Ray J hat right
You're
now.
not the baby anymore. You're the big boy.
Yeah.
I beat you.
Okay, yeah, that's a baby. She's here.
I think she actually might
Don't take her hat. She needs it.
She might lean. She's a little, at least so far.
It's in the corner, the bassinet.
Hi. That's your cousin. Okay, Astor. I know you. Just let you see it too. Okay.
This is the new one.
That's the new
The newest member of the pack.
See?
Look at her little feet. You see, baby?
She got some long feet.
Yeah.
That's football.
Day 2 of being back home after my C-section hysterectomy, where they did a vertical incision. Definitely want to put your gauze pad on so that you just protect it. Wear your diaper. And something else I found that's really, really helpful is this belly binder that you actually get from the hospital for free. You just have to ask for it because they don't just give it to you. But it gives you so much core support, and it doesn't hurt the incision like you would think it would. I'm terrible at putting it on. But anyway, put on some postpartum leggings for more compression. And this nursing shirt I have also has some compression. You keep everything in because, you know, they took some organs out. They took your baby out. I'm really only taking ibuprofen as needed at this point. I recovered a lot faster than most people do. I did lose 3 liters of blood and had 2 units of blood transfusion, but we're here, we're doing good, we're doing okay, and that's my C-Hist tip of the day.
What you thinking about?
We're celebrating 50 years of Popeye signature chicken with a deal you'll love. Now for just $6.99, it takes 50 years of crunchy, juicy chicken meat that served since 1972.
He's gonna ignore the camera in your face.
Look in your eyes, boy. When safe drivers save lives on their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
So silly.
Did you get the ice? Even if they forgot the ice.
What are you doing?
100% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pipe. Get a quote today. Good enough, boy.
She's awake.
Oh.
2-week incision check. I'm already back to pre-pregnancy weight, so that is shocking, but I'm not mad at it. I just have to tone up and do some things, but the PG program gonna get me right as soon as I'm cleared to really be active and work out. And at my 6-week checkup, they, I knew early on in the pregnancy with the pap smear that there were some possible cancer cells in my cervix. They didn't want to do a biopsy because of the risk of bleeding. But after they took it out and they tested it, I did in fact have cancer, which was and is a lot to process. I still haven't fully processed it. This postpartum journey has been very difficult. I don't know if it's because of the hysterectomy or just the regular chemicals that are, it's all unbalanced right now, but I think I'm experiencing a bit of postpartum depression, which is, I think, normal for Accreta survivors in the Accreta Facebook group that I'm a part of. A lot of women talk about the 3 to 6 month mark, you get hit with everything, like everything you've been holding in and trying to be strong for. Once things start to get more settled, you get hit with this wave of, there's grief and mourning and of loss of not having the pregnancy that you wanted, the birth that you wanted, or losing organs in your body and knowing you won't be able to ever experience having kids again. Like, it's a lot to sort through. And I think I'm doing the best that I can and trying to just take it one day at a time, go moment by moment, and being grateful that my experience came out as positive as it could have possibly come out, but still it's difficult. I am so happy to be on the other side of Accreta. If this is something that you're going through right now, I encourage you to join the Facebook groups down below. It'll be very, very helpful. If you have questions, I can share my personal experience with you. I mean, every experience is different because everybody's body is doing something different, and I can only tell you, like, you gotta go one day at a time. You gotta take it easy. You can't let it consume your mind. Get all the information that you can. Advocate for yourself when you can. Find doctors that you trust. Like, if there's a doctor saying something and it doesn't feel right in your spirit, find somebody else to talk to. The doctors can't believe how great I'm doing. And, you know, shout out to abdominal binders. Make sure you put that on as soon as you can, because that gives you back support and get moving. It just kind of holds everything in. And I wore that like every day, all day long. The one from the hospital, and then I switched to one from Amazon, which will be in my Amazon store. I think the two worst things about this experience, aside from being afraid of dying every day, was the gas pain. So they put gas in your body to open everything up, and then there was like my lower back and my shoulders hurt so bad in the hospital. That was like the worst. And the car seat challenge that my baby had to do, because she had to be sitting in a car seat for an hour, and she was crying so hard, and I couldn't take her out because they had to do this in order for us to get the okay to go home. So those two things sucked. And my hospital didn't have a heating pad for me to put on my back. I don't know how the hospital didn't have a single one available, but they didn't. So I just had to deal with the pain. But luckily that like came and went. The way that it went is how it went, because I'm healthy, my babies are healthy, I have my son and my daughter like I always dreamed, and I try to focus on that, even though I'm still mourning just losing a piece of myself and not ever having the birth story that I wanted to necessarily have. But I would love to hear from you and where you're at in this, so I can help support you, and if there was anything that I didn't really touch on it, or if I just kind of touched on it and didn't really elaborate, please hop in the comments and I'll be happy to, you know, hold your hand through it. Thank you for watching. Check out the Accreta Facebook group, my MothaHood Support Group, and my Amazon storefront for anything that you might need in the hospital with you. And thank you for watching.